Thank you. Happy Thursday. I hope you have been joining all without any problem and learning a lot from our facilitators. So do not forget to complete your attendance form that is shared here in the chat box on Zoom, as well as asking any question if you have any doubt. So now with you, our great facilitators, Professor Beatriz Tinoco will start, and then Professor Corina Rodriguez.
Thank you very much, Joel. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is our fourth day of seminar, and I really hope that whatever we're sharing with you, based on our experience and our limited knowledge, um, is very helpful. Before we get started with the topic for today, I would like to go back and talk about a little bit of the discussion that we had yesterday. We remember that we had the experience on talking about activities that you could do in the blended class for speaking and for composition. And it really caught my attention what Professor Ho said, and I agree with her, how challenging it was, at least for the composition teachers, to do their job during the pandemic and working online. And it reminded me of what we said the first day of this seminar. Remember, I said we need to open our minds, we need to look for new options. Sometimes we give ourselves excuses where we think that something is not possible just because we haven't tried it yet. One of the things that I believe we learned from the pandemic is that we were forced to look for new ways, for different ways of doing things. We realized that yes, it is possible to teach speaking, it is possible to teach grammar, it is possible to teach conversation and composition. Was it challenging? Is it challenging? Yes, absolutely. Is it possible? We just realized that yesterday. Yes, it's possible. So these situations like natural disasters, or in this case, the pandemic, made us think, well, in other words, forced us to think of new ways of doing things. And that's exactly what we were talking about the first day of classes. I agree with Professor Ho. Maybe before the pandemic, composition teachers wouldn't think of a way of helping students or teaching students more than in the classroom. And now we have proved the opposite, that it's possible. So let's keep in mind that in mind, that we have to always look for new options. As I say, technology is here to stay. So our job now is to include new options, new ways of thinking to our classroom. Of course, to help our students improve and their learning process, right? Okay, very good. So I don't know if someone wants to make a comment about that, or I can get started. No comments? Okay, very good. I'm going to start sharing screen here. Just one moment, please. Okay, very good. So today, can you see screen? I don't know. Can you see it? Am I sharing screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, very good. Perfect. So the topic for this morning is the digital gradebook in Google Classroom. And we're going to talk about the gradebook because we know that in all our courses or throughout our courses, we assess students. That's part of our job, not only to plan the lessons, to give them opportunities to practice or to learn, or to give them information, but also to evaluate or assess their learning. And we do that in different methods. For example, we know that we have the diagnostic, the formative, the continuous, the summative, and we decide which method we're going to use and when in our courses. The style and purpose of the students' assessment depends on different things. It depends on the subject level, the situation, the learning objectives that we have for the course, and of course, the students. Okay, so uh, the blending or using the blended model will give us more opportunities to assess our students. We can remember our experience as students, maybe that the only options were paper, pencil, paper, pen. That was it. With this type of learning model, like the blended model, now we have a wider scope to assess our students. We have many other options. It happened to me during the pandemic when I was forced to look for options using technology. I realized that there was so much meaningful material that I was missing because I was not forced to look for it. With the pandemic and being forced to look for more options in the computer, in the internet, I realized that, oh my God, it's even better than what I thought. And of course, I could include those activities in the class. Okay. Now, I would like to share with you this chart that I think is very meaningful. As I said before, depending on the stage of learning, we will have more options for assess or different types and more options to assess our students. If we're looking, for example, for interaction with new knowledge, in this case, we can have, for example, or we can include in our courses automatic quizzes, drag and drop activities, fill in the gap activities. And in this type of assessment, it's very easy for peers to assess each other, right? Because they're usually questions, closed questions. So these are options that we might not have just being in the traditional class, but combining both, we have more options, as I said before, to assess our students. If we're talking about practicing and deepening knowledge, as it says there, likely to be applying knowledge, explaining implications, and analyzing. So may assess using, for example, participation in discussion forums. We can do that through a platform. In this case, well, we're talking about Google Classroom, but as I mentioned before, you can use any platform that you think is useful. Contributions to wikis. Remember, we talked about wikis yesterday and how this type of tool allow students to include information, to edit information, to add content, and so forth. Not only for the audience in the classroom, only your classmates and the teacher, but also to a global audience. And of course, as I said also, that implies that the student feels more responsible for what he or she is going to share in that platform, in that wiki, because they know that the audience is going to be wider, it's going to be bigger. Also, response to stimulus. In this case, we're talking about feedback. So it can be self or peer assessed with support and guidance, but it's likely to need teacher input or standardization precisely for what I said. Because now the student has to be more responsible for the content he or she is going to share with a global audience. So of course, it requires uh, some responsibility from the professor or the instructor to check, to standardize, to give feedback, to give input, to make sure that that content is appropriate. Okay. In the stage of learning, when we talk about generating and testing hypotheses, here likely to be undertaking research, modeling, so may assess using, for example, individual or group presentations, extended writing, such as essays or reports, in the case of composition, as Professor Corina illustrated yesterday, or using undertaking experiments. All of these are options that you can use in a blended class, generally assessed by the teacher and unlikely to be self or peer assessed because this requires now like a higher level of analysis. So it's more of the professor's responsibility to take care of this part. Okay, so here we see some examples of the types of assessment we can actually include in our blended classes. Now, keeping this in mind, we're going to get into Google Classroom. Google Classroom offers or provides a grading system that allows the teachers to keep track of the process of the students' learning and to keep track of the grades or evaluation. The three features that Google Classroom has are no overall grade, total points, and grades weighted by category. By the categories, I'm sorry. Am I going too fast or it's okay? Please let me know because I know I get inspired and I talk too fast. Am I going too fast or I'm good today?
You're a good teacher. You're good.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so as I was saying, you're going to find three main features in Google Classroom, and I'm going to explain each one. I'll try to go, very slowly and step by step so you can get it. To go to these features, the first thing you have to do is to go to your Google Classroom, of course, and then you're going to click on this icon that looks like a knot. That will be class settings. That's the class settings. So you click there, and once you click there, You are going to scroll down until you see this title, class settings, and you're going to see the title grading. Okay, here is where you're going to choose the type of evaluation you want for your class. As I said, there are three options, three features. So on the right side, you're going to see a drop-down list. You're going to click there. And once you have the drop-down list, you're going to choose, you see, the three options: no overall grade, total points, and weighted by category. But what do they mean? What does that mean, Beatriz? No overall grade. That sometimes, as we have different types of assessments, you don't want to keep the overall grade. You don't want to add up all the points that you have in the. You just want to have track maybe of diagnostic assignment, right, or formative assignments. So if you click on overall grade, it means that the program or the platform is not going to give you any overall grade of the student. Okay. If you have total points, it means that the platform is going to add the points that you of the assignments that you insert or you enter into the platform. So if I have two assignments, one is 5 points worth and the other one is 20 points worth, it means that at the end, the evaluation is going to be based on 25 points because the platform automatically adds the points that you of the assignments that you insert. Okay, so that's another option. I have a quiz, 5 points, I put it there. Okay, then I have oral presentation, 20 points, I put it there. Then I have a project, a written project, 10 points, I put it there. The platform will make a difference among them. The platform is going to automatically add all the points. In this case, 35 points. But sometimes, and that's what I do, professors or instructors divide the evaluation criteria for the course into categories or into different items. Let's call it that way. And that's when we use weighted by category. It means that you are going to give each aspect of the evaluation criteria a specific percentage. And I'm going to explain that in a few seconds. So once I go to the drop-down list, I click on weighted by category. And when I click there, I'm going to see this menu displayed. The evaluation or the grade categories sum up to 100%, which is the highest you can get, right? So every time you include a grade category in the platform with that percentage, the platform automatically will tell you the remaining percentage. So for example, this is my example. This is what I do. I divide the evaluation criteria into 5 different aspects. I have online activities. Everything the students do online is 15% of the final grade. So here I put online activities and in the percentage, I put 15. If I only type this in, online activities, 15%, what number am I going to see here where it says remaining? Forget about this. Imagine that I have just written online activities, 15%. What number will I see here where it says remaining?
85.
Thank you
85.
very much. Very good. That's exactly what I'm going to see. So the platform is telling me, well, you got 85% to use in your category. So then I type in quizzes and I say, well, we're going to have 2 quizzes during the semester. And those 2 quizzes represent 10% of the final grade. And then I will see a new remaining number here, a new remaining percentage here.
75.
There you go. Thank you very much. Excellent. And then I said, well, we're going to have 2 midterms during this semester. And those 2 midterms together represent 35% of the final grade. So you type in the category, and I'm going to explain later why or how you're going to use this later for the platform with the percentage. Then I say, okay, besides working individually in online activities and doing quizzes and doing midterms, I want them to work in groups. For me, that's very important that they exchange ideas and they get feedback and so forth. So in my class, group work will have or will be 10% of the final grade. And the final exam will be or will represent 30% of the final grade. So once I add all the grade categories, if you see the remaining says 0, it means that I have 100% here with all the grade categories that I included. Okay, any questions so far? Very good. Um, so what does it mean if I say if I put here online activities 15%, it means that once I identify an assignment as an online activity, the platform will include it in that 15 percentage. If I have or if I insert an activity that is a quiz, the platform will add it to the 10%. So at the end, the platform will give you the overall based on each one of these percentages. In other words, let's suppose that a student gets 10% in online activities, 8% in quizzes, 35% in midterms. At the end, the platform will give me the overall based on each one of these percentages that I use here. Okay, something else about the evaluation. When I'm going to, and we already practiced how to assign material and so forth. When you are going to assign a material or a task, we already practiced the title, the instructions that is optional, how to upload information. And here on the right side, you see grade category. This is where you tell the platform where you want that assignment to be evaluated or considered for percentage. In this case, what I have uploaded here is an online activity. So what I do for all the students. So what I do, I go to grade category. Again, I'm going to click here and I'm going to have the drop down list where it will say, when it says grade, here where it says grade category, and I click here and I get the drop down list, here, the menu that I'm going to see displayed will be online activities, quizzes, midterms, group work, and final exam. Because those are the 5 categories that I chose for this, that I set for this course. So I click on online activities, and then I'm saying, okay, this assignment, I want you to take it with to that percent. Then here, I'm going to put the points for the assignment. Well, this assignment is 20 points worth. And I'm going to add the due date. I just click here. Oh, it's not, give me a second here. Okay, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, so you click here and you're going to see a calendar displayed. There you're going to choose the day and the time when the assignment is due. In other words, the deadline. In my experience, what I usually do is that I give, especially for online activities, asynchronous activities, I usually give them the whole week to present or to submit their assignments. That's why you're going to see a Sunday most of the time, at least in this example. Why? Because I am aware that sometimes there are internet issues or you got emergencies at home. And as we know, with asynchronous classes, you are giving the student the opportunity to work at his or her own pace, right? So, for example, if a student works from Monday through Friday or from Monday to Thursday, or they have rotating shifts, they will still have the opportunity to work on their assignments and to submit them until Sunday. This is my personal view. You don't have to do it that way. I remember one time my student said, but teacher, I don't like to do homework on weekends. So why do I have to submit my assignment on a Sunday? I say, no, you have until Sunday at 11:59 to upload your assignment. But if you want to do your assignment on a Monday night or Tuesday or whenever you feel is more suitable for you, go ahead. This is the time limit for you to submit or upload your assignment. And that's what I did. And it worked out very well because afterwards I asked them in a survey and they really like that opportunity of, having the time to digest information. If anything happens, teacher, I don't have internet today, well, you can do it tomorrow, Friday, for example, and so forth. And here, Professor Corina already explained this about the topic. You write the topic, or you choose the topic where the assignment is going to be displayed. And I saw yesterday one of the presentations that the instructor typed the rubric here, I think, in the instruction side, the optional side of the assignment. Well, you can actually set the rubric in the platform. I'm not going to explain that right now. I'm just telling you that you can do it. Professor Corina is going to explain that later, but you can actually include the rubric in the platform. So you don't have to type anything here. It's going to be done automatically um, in the platform. Okay, so again, I upload the assignment, I'm ready to post it, I choose the grade category. So in that way, the platform knows where the percentage goes, the points that the assignment is worth, the due date. If you don't set anything here, it means that the students can upload the information whenever. And if you're evaluating, for example, in my case, if you are evaluating to submit assignments on time, then you want to have a due date here. Also, you need a deadline so you can check their progress, evaluate if they actually understand what they're learning and so forth, what they're studying and so forth. Okay, so once you have set all your assignments, you can go to this title here that says grades. We have already seen stream, classwork, people, and if you click here, you're going to see grade. This is where you're going to see your grade book. You see on the left side, you're going to see all the names of the students. In this example, in this case, the overall grade is activated. So you can see the overall grade here for each one of the students. And as I said, you can allow it or not allow it, depends on what you choose for them to see it. And here you have all the activities that you have posted in Google Classroom. So what you can see here is that you have the how you label the activity. In this case, was the final exam. Well, in this case, it was 65 points worth. And here you can see what the students got, the point. Here you have group work. In group work, if you notice, since Google Classroom is going to assign a specific column for each one of the groups, here I had more than 5 groups. So group number 1 here, group number 2, group number 3, group number 4. And then you're going to see the evaluation for the students who belong to that group. In this case, this student belong to this group. That's why you see the points here. But these students and this student are not in this group. So you don't see anything here. And that's how you're going to see it in the grade book. And on top, the points that they got as a group. So you're going to see like a list of columns with all the assignment. And if you want to see a specific assignment, you just have to click on that one. If I want to see week 3 assignment, well, I cannot see there because it's a screenshot. I just click there and I will see then the assignment and the members of the group that belong to that group.
Professor,
Yes.
I didn't understand how you, I mean, I'm sorry for that because I was a bit behind. So I didn't understand when you give the percentage for each one of the, like for online assignments, quizzes, group work, individual work. So what do you get? Where do you go?
Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Don't worry, teacher. I can go back. For that, once you enter the classroom, you go to this icon here that looks like a knot.
Okay.
That's class settings. You click there. When you click there, you are going to have a lot of information. You scroll down until you see this title. There is some information above that you have seen before, but I'm not going to get into that. I want you to, because you want to know this, so I'm going to focus on this. You go, once you are there, you're going to scroll down until you see this title that says grading. Okay? And then here where it says grading, on the right side of the screen, you are going to see a drop-down list. You click there and you're going to see this menu displayed. Oh, now I forgot to mention something. I'm sorry. Here where it says show overall grade to student, you see it's not active here. So you can decide when you want your students to see their overall evaluation or if you don't want them to see their overall evaluation. And it depends on your purpose. It depends on your intention. students can get very anxious if they see, for example, they get 5 out of 10 and then 6 out of 15, and they get anxious like, teacher, am I going to fail the course? So sometimes it's not a good idea to show the overall grade to students. But what I do at the end of the semester is that I show the overall grade so they know how they're doing in the class. Okay, so it's this button here. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
So you can change that later.
Yes, you can change it. You decide when you want them to see them or not. They're going to get their points for each one of the assignments. Let's not confuse that. If they have an assignment, they submit the assignment, you're going to give feedback, you're going to do the evaluation, as we're going to see in a few minutes. That's no problem. They know what they got in the assignment. But the overall grade, what they get from all the activities, you decide when you want them to see them. So going back to teacher Enelda's question, I hope I answered that question, but I'm going to repeat. You go to grading. On the right side, there is a drop-down list. You click there. You're going to see this menu displayed with 3 options. No overall grade, I just explained, right? Here is not active. I don't want them to see the overall grade. Total points. The platform is going to add points for everything that you have said as assignment. It doesn't matter if it is a quiz, an exam, or a representation. The computer just adds everything. And then you have the option that I use, that I strongly recommend, that is weighted by category. Once you click there, you are going to get then this option over here. They say grade categories must add up to 100%. And this is something that I love about the platform. As I said, there are very, very good platforms out there, but I think this one is very friendly and it guides the user if he or she is not sure about what to do. So here, grade categories, you decide the categories that you're going to use. In my case, I divide evaluation criteria into 5 different items. I evaluate online activities, so I type there online activities, and all the online activities will be 15% of the final grade. Then quizzes, I type in quizzes, that will be 10% of the final grade. Midterms, I want them to do 2 midterms. One is going to be oral, and the other one is going to be written. You decide, it's just an example. 35% of the final grade. Group work, because for me it's important that they get to interact with their peers, 10%, and the final exam, 30%. So here you have the grade categories you have planned for the course. Remember, as we said the very first day of the seminar, everything that you do as an instructor has to be with an intention. You cannot just improvise. From the very beginning, the students, when they get their syllabus, they should know the evaluation criteria. They should know that they're going to have online activities, that they're going to have midterms, that they're going to have quizzes. In my case, I do not have pop quizzes with the students. They're always announced beforehand, in advance. I never use like, okay, quiz today, surprise. I never do that, but that's me as Beatriz Tinoco. It depends on your style, the purpose that you have, right, in the course. So again, you decide here. I'm going to ask teacher Eneda, since she was asking, teacher, what grade categories will you use for a course that you teach, for example? Would you include midterm exam?
Yes.
Absolutely. Because you know that at some point they're going to have a midterm exam, right? And a final exam. So teacher Enelda, did I help you with my answer?
Sure. Thank you. I was
Very
a bit
good.
confused about it, but I now understand. Thank you.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, very good. Again, these titles, these grade categories depend on the teacher. It depends on what you are going to grade, the evaluation criteria that you have for your course. Okay, I know some, for example, I know some professors, they evaluate attendance, for example, and they give a percentage of that. Well, you put here attendance, and you give them 5% or 10%. I don't know. That depends on the professor. Okay, let's continue. So as I was saying, here we have the rubric you can actually use.
Beatriz.
Someone talking to me? I'm sorry. Did someone say Beatriz?
Yes, Rafael. Can you
Okay.
can you go back to the previous slide?
This one?
Yes. Oh, So I mean, the way the computer or the platform works, let's say, Okay, the first activity has to be an online activity. So over there, I'm gonna write 15%. So in the platform, that's gonna be the first activity. And then automatically, the platform is going to assign that grade in that section.
No, that's an excellent question, teacher. No, not necessarily like I have to put the online activities first. No, 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 no. Here you're just setting the category. So as that's an excellent question. So how does the platform know where to put the assignment? It's right here. You choose the grade category. And this assignment can be a quiz. My first assignment for the course can be a quiz because I already saw these students last semester and I want to see they remember what we studied in the class. So I say, okay, the first activity is going to be a quiz. In my here, in my grading system, to call it away, we see the second one. That has nothing to do. I just put here all the grade categories. I'm going to tell the platform, I'm going to let the platform know that it's a quiz because here where it says grade category, I click here, I'm going to see a drop down list and I'm going to choose quizzes. So the order has nothing to do with the grade categories that I said here. It's just that I have to write something first, something second, and something third.
Yeah.
See? And I usually do it in the order that I present. Usually I start with online and so forth. But no, this is just a grade category. You decide or you tell the computer or to tell the platform where that assignment should go by choosing the grade category here. For example, this assignment that we did during the second week was an online assignment. So I go there, I click on the drop down list and I choose online activity. If it is a quiz, then I go to grade category, click here the arrow, drop down list, a quiz. I choose the grade category that I have already set on the platform. Okay. Did I help you with my answer, teacher? Very good. Excellent. So yes. I choose the grade category.
So
in any order, yes.
So over there, I may apply like, let's say 5, but those 5 is going to represent 15% in that category, right?
Exactly. You have very good question. You said online activities, okay? And throughout the semester, you did 5 online activities. Okay, those 5 activities
represent the 15%, yes.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And as I said, this is my example, but the percentage may vary depending on you as a teacher and what you want to get from the class. Okay?
Well, I didn't know that. The thing is because I wanted to let them know that, for instance, how I work. Every week I assign a video and assign a written assignment. So and both has 15%, 15 points. So every 2 weeks, they have to add both 50 and 50. If they got it right, they got 100. So every 2 weeks, we have a grade. So that's the way, because I didn't know that in this platform, the platform was able to organize it and keep track of the grades like this. So that's why I just explained from the beginning. Now I know that the platform may arrange it and organize it like this. Okay. Exactly. All right, excellent. Good.
So now your work will be easier, you see?
Yeah.
So now you can devote your energy to implement new strategies, activities, because the platform will do that job for you.
Yeah.
See? Perfect.
Thank you.
Very good. You're very welcome. Let's continue. So as I was saying, this is how you see your grade book. Here are the students' names, the grade, and because these are group assignments, that's why you see those empty spaces there. Because as I said before, what the platform does is that they set a column for each one of the groups. For example, Enelda and Rafael are in group number 1. This is the column. So here is Rafael's name. He got 20 points. And up down here is Enelda's name. Well, the 20 points there. And the same with the others for group assignments. Individual work is only one column where you see all the evaluations there. And if you want to go back to specific assignment, you just click there and you will see the assignment display with the names of the students and the assignments they uploaded. And this is an example. I enter here one assignment. I'm going to see on the left side of the screen the students' names. here the evaluation that they got. And here you're going to see all their assignments. So I can see here the different assignments. I click there to see each one of the students. And you can actually insert a manual evaluation for the students. I don't know if you remember yesterday when I was explaining how to upload recordings and audios that we have to emphasize, or we have to let the students know that they have to click on turn in, remember? Because if they do not turn in, you're going to see something like this. Even though they did the assignment, it appears like this. So, and that's dangerous because you don't know if they were late, and because they were late and did not submit the assignment on time, they did not turn it in just to pretend that they were on time. And I'm saying this because I do evaluate, as I said, timing. Like if you don't submit your assignment on time, since I'm giving you until Sunday, you lose points. So you can actually evaluate a student's assignment and manually insert the evaluation here. Or you made a mistake. Oh, it was not 27 points, it was 28. I already typed 27 here, no problem. I go there, I click on top and I put 28, no problem. With these three dots over here, I click there, I will have a drop down there where it says return new evaluation. I return it and no harm done. So see, this is how you see the assignment and you put the evaluation.
Beatriz, but remember over there, if you want to change it, you have to submit some explanation, I think. There's a space where you have to write something in order to change.
It would allow you, no, not necessarily.
Yes, it does, because I've been trying. I have to explain something. There is a space where you have to write something, and then you may submit it, and then it works.
Oh, interesting. Well, it has worked for me, but I will check it. Like what happens, what I do is that once I click there, I get the box to type something, but I don't type anything. I just put the grade and it happens, but I can check it. That has been my experience. It has worked for me, but I don't know. We have to see what happened, or if we're doing different things, because in my case, that I don't have to write anything else. But
I don't know, maybe because I'm working with what's this? This is not the program, Microsoft 10. This is 7, I think.
maybe that's why.
Maybe
It could be, it could be, it could be. Okay, so another way in which you can actually put the grade for students is once you have the assignment open, on the right side, we already saw the left side, right, of the screen. All the students are here, but I want to see Rafael's assignment. This is Rafael. I click there. Here's the assignment. I click his assignment, right? I see the assignment here. Is the assignment, and now I'm going to give evaluation. You see, he uploaded his assignment. He did it on time, and the platform will tell me when and on what time the student uploaded the assignment. Okay, so I check the evaluation. I check the assignment. Okay, Rafael got 100 points. I put it here. And here I'm going to write private comments. Professor Corina mentioned about this space yesterday, and she also showed how to do it for composition, right? But in any other class, you can go to private comments, and here you give feedback to the student. You have no idea how powerful it is, how meaningful it is for a student to receive feedback from his or her teacher. It's very meaningful because they feel that they are part of the class. They feel that you're paying attention to them. The evaluation is personalized. So the teacher is not giving me a generic comment, but it's talking to me, even though I cannot see or hear in this part of the asynchronous class. So it's very meaningful. And at the end, you want the student to improve. So you have to let him or her know the good things or the bad things. Not necessarily private comments have to include bad things about the assignment. It could be something good. You did a great job. I really like the creativity. Sometimes you assign tasks and students just do what they ask to. And some others, they put colors and images because they are very technological and they enjoy it. So they put colors, they put images, they do different things. And you have to let them know that you read their assignments and you're giving feedback, okay? So once you put the grid here and the private comments, you hit or click the return button. And there, they're going to receive it. Now, there are some considerations that we have to keep in mind. Students can honor roll from a class. If that happens, if by any chance Rafael decides to leave the classroom, so he honor rolls from a class, I am going to lose all the information about Rafael. So the assignments and the grades and everything he has done so far disappears, not registered anymore. So sometimes as a backup plan, because you will have different types of students who will unenroll for any reason and you know they just drop the course. Students who unenroll the class for any other retention, you don't know that. So their recommendation is, or as a backup plan, if you want to, is to download your gradebook. Okay. And to download your gradebook, you just go to any assignment that you have in the gradebook. I chose this one. And there you're going to have, again, this available, the not available. You click there and you're going to have this drop down menu or this drop down list. You're going to click where you can copy your grades to Google, or you can go to download these grades, like this specific assignment. But what I recommend is to download all the grades, everything. So you click there, and once you click there, you're going to get something like this. Okay, you're going to go to Excel. You're going to see that everything goes to Excel. You're going to see here the students' names. Here I got their email addresses, and you're going to see all the activities with the points. Now, I have to be honest, it doesn't look nice. You're like, oh my God, what is this? So you have to fix it. You have to widen the columns. Maybe you want to use another font size, make it bigger so you can see. You want to use some colors to distinguish or contrast the different activities and so forth. So if you are really good at Excel, or you can, you're acquainted with this platform, with this, program, you can go to Excel and fix it. And then you will get something like this. This is my final gradebook. Like here I have the students' names and ID numbers, what I do, and this is me, Beatriz Sino, it's just an example, okay? I love colors to contrast the different activities. So I use yellow for assignments, quizzes, and homework. In this case, all of this was 15% of the final grade. So I have all the points here. I just widen the columns, and I use here on top, I put the points for each one of the assignments. So this assignment was 5 points, this assignment was 10 points, 20 points, 1 point, 15 points, and so forth. And you're like, Beatriz, what is that X1, X2, X3? What I do is that instead of writing there like the name of the activity of what they did, I put it at the bottom of the page. I put there X1, group assignment. Students were supposed to tell us what their flaws are or the strengths in the speaking class, whatever. So I give all the explanation down here, so I have more space for narrower columns. Okay, and then at the end you will have, for example, here I have. In this case, how many grade categories do I have based on the colors? Who can tell me?
3.
Very good. 3. No, actually 4.
No, 4. Yes.
These two
The
colors
yellow. Yes. 4.
alike. Very good. And at the end, Excel, depending on the formula that you use, will give you the final grade. So you don't have to add anything. Again, you can set Excel to give you the percentages just to check and the final grade. Okay. So this is an option. It's optional. If you don't want to download anything, well, that's fine. You have your gradebook in Google Classroom. So now with this, thank you so much for your attention. We're ready for the breakout room. What you're going to do now is to create grading categories for a class. You can continue with the class that you already started yesterday if you want to. And you're going to create the grading categories. You as a group decide, or the instructor, well, as a group, you're going to decide the grade categories for the class. You are going to assign a task, including grade category that where you're going to put that assignment, the points, the due date, and the topic. In other words, you're going to do this. Let me go back so you can see it. should see this. Where is it? Here. So you're going to create an assignment. You're going to, you're going to create categories, grade categories. You're going to then choose a grade category for the assignment, the point, the due date, the topic. I'm not going to ask you to write any rubric here because I haven't explained that. That will be part of Karina's presentation later on.
Question.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay, Beatriz. Let's say a student he submit an assignment, and because they knew in this environment, I'm gonna give them a chance. Okay, but the thing is, a person, me as a teacher, I've been trying to get rid of get rid of that documents that these students already uploaded in the system. I mean, they are able to upload another one, but me as a professor, as an administrator of the platform, how can I erase that document that was wrong? Have you ever done that? I've been trying to, but I wasn't able to.
I don't know if I understand. You mean to erase what the student uploaded?
Yes.
I have never tried that. If I'm going to give the opportunity to a student to submit, what I do is I just disregard the other one and evaluate the new one because they're going to see a new post. But I have never tried doing that.
Never have, no, yeah, because the thing is that they are able to upload it once again, but in that platform you see two documents, so you have to select the other one. But I don't know if in another platform they're able to erase that one.
I have no idea. I will have to ask experts in other platforms, but I have never tried that on Google Classroom, like to erase up, because at the end, that is evidence. I wouldn't erase anything that a student uploaded because you never know. At the end, I can tell the student, you know what, because that's what happened, not to me, but I have heard colleagues saying, I gave the students so many opportunities. And at the end, they did not respond. And now they're claiming for grades and doing so forth. So that would be evidence for me. Like, look, I gave you the opportunity in assignment number 1, see what you did. I gave you an opportunity, you submitted this. In assignment number 5, again, you had an excuse and you did this. So I wouldn't erase anything. For me, that's evidence of working class and evidence of opportunities. But I don't know if someone in the audience would like to share maybe an experience on how to limit. I have never tried it, so I cannot answer that question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
I agree with you, Beatriz, because we should leave it in order to have an evidence that was the second chance that you gave the student.
Absolutely. I wouldn't touch anything that the student submitted. I agree, Carmen. I mean, I wouldn't do it. Even if I knew how to do it, which I don't know, I wouldn't do it. That's evidence of work, evidence of opportunities, evidence of progress. I mean, so many things you can use that previous assignment.
Yeah, now the thing is that sometimes because they are in a hurry, they try to upload as fast as they can, and they made a mistake. And then sometimes
No, that's fine, teacher. I'm not saying that it's okay to give it an opportunity. That's great. I agree. You decide as an instructor what you're going to do in the course, if you're going to give them an opportunity or not. That's fine. That's not the issue here. The thing is that you're asking how you can erase something that you have uploaded. And that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't erase anything. If I don't know how to do it because I have never tried it, but even if I knew, I wouldn't. That's Beatriz speaking, okay? I'm taking responsibility of my work. I wouldn't erase anything that a student has uploaded because that's evidence of progress, evidence of work, everything. Can you imagine that you erase it and then you forget? And you say, well, teacher, at the end, remember that I showed you the first assignment and you gave me an opportunity? No, that's very dangerous for me. But that's my personal point of view. You don't have to take it, okay? All right, excellent. So Joel, I want to stop here. Thank you again for your attention. The audience is yours for the breakout rooms. I'm going to post the PowerPoint that I have just shared with you in a few seconds once I finish here. So you can go back to the information if you want to, okay?
Okay, wonderful. How much time do we need to send them for the breakout room?
again, 30 minutes to be fair.
30
So
minutes.
yeah, or maybe 20 to 30 minutes, Joel.
Okay. Let's see if the Facultad de Humanidades could give me the co-host to create the rooms. I am not, I'm not allowed to create rooms now. Facultad de Humanidades, Educación Continua, could you give me the co-host? Hello?
Maybe you have to talk in Spanish to them.
Okay. Facultad de Humanidades, Educación Continua, por favor, páseme el co-host. Yo les envié un chat a ellos aquí en Zoom, pero no lo... Ahora sí. Okay, we are going to create 9 rooms. All right. And you are going to choose your room according to your group. Okay. And you are going to be there for about 30 minutes. Go ahead.
And here we have our class, and the grades. Professor Asael turned in the essay
Very good. That was fast.
last night. Yeah, because we had this one from yesterday. We had it assigned, and sorry because I've been having some internet issues here in the neighborhood, but we got the work. He did an excellent job. I could access to Mood.
But you have it installed already. Very
Yes,
good.
I installed it so I could check his paper, and it's excellent. First time I used it, I didn't know it. Yeah, and it's really wonderful because all you have to do is click on it and then you can talk or you can write. So it's
It
something,
is.
yeah, something very important. As I told my colleagues just a minute ago that we are learning, because although I have used this platform, I'm not very technological, so I really use it like, the basic to get the work done, as we say. And I have been learning a lot, so thank you for that. And thank you for my colleagues also helping me out in the management of the class work.
Can you please go to the settings
Yes,
to see your percentages?
yes, let me move this.
Scroll down.
I don't know why I just a while it got broad, the what do you call it? And I don't know how to make it go back down. Like the screen got white, got bigger, and I don't know what I touched. And now I can't find
Yeah, maybe if you click on the 3 dots next to your photo. If you click there, no, it's perfect. It's 100. Well, you didn't zoom it. I don't know.
Oh, here, maybe, yeah.
You can get it smaller.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I think I'm going to put it smaller so I can see the.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't think that's the issue. Okay, anyway, you can scroll down. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the grade.
Right
Yeah,
there.
we did
To
it.
the right. Uh-huh. Okay.
There we can,
okay.
Can see, yeah, a little, because I'm fighting to find
Okay,
where to.
yeah, but we were able to see that you did it. It's still, you need to figure out what.
Yeah, I'm going to get help. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Briseida,
Sorry
for
that.
sharing. Do we have another group? That was group number 8, right?
Group
Yes.
number 9, Professor Corina.
Very good. Go ahead. Show us your masterpiece.
Are you watching the screen?
It's coming. Yeah. We can see it now.
Okay, our group number 9. We are going to show you the
settings.
Yes.
Okay.
They are our categories: online activities, classwork, quizzes, and final exam. Are you watching?
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. It looks perfect. Very good.
Okay, our grades. We need to share our students' activities.
Missing.
They haven't submitted it. It says
Oh.
missing.
Yes, they submitted, but the teacher didn't.
Very bad
No.
students. Very bad students.
No, they are good students,
Well,
but they
it
don't
doesn't
have
show.
time
It
because
doesn't
they are
show.
taking the seminar. And now on
Excuses.
here on classwork, the assignment is here.
Okay, very
And you
good.
can see it has the deadline and the instruction for us. Let
Okay.
me know if everything is right.
It looks fine. Everything
Thank
looks
you.
fine. Very
Because we
good.
have good teachers. Thank you for your knowledge and sharing with us, Professor Corina.
Okay, my pleasure.
That's
In fact,
okay?
it was Beatrice's presentation, but okay.
Yeah, yes,
let
thank you
her
for
know.
all of, for both of them. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to stop to share with you the screen.
Very good. Thank you. Lucy,
Okay.
are you going to talk about group number 1 or do you have a question?
Yeah, both.
Oh my.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen to make the question.
Okay.
Great. So we have our grades here. What we did as you asked us was to do the settings, okay?
Right.
So in the settings here in the grading, we had the percentages. So we have, for example, 30% for the midterms, 10% for practices, 30% for group work, and 25% for final exam. So and we had the 5% for participation. And that would be like, we cannot grade attendance, but we can grade participation. So, so this, to have a participation grade, a student should be there. So now we have here. So
just one, let me interrupt you for a minute. Take into account that the university has established the maximum and the minimum percentages for some of the sections, remember?
Yeah, it's a university, but maybe it works for any institution.
Okay.
This thing works for any institution.
And I'm just reminding everybody that keep in mind when you work in the percentages that there are, the university has established already the minimum and the maximum for each section.
Yeah, it's already set up for the university. So for example, as you were saying, for the university, the midterms should be an exact amount of or minimum percentage, and the final exam should be, I think it's 30%.
You're right.
Yeah, so maybe if I'm working in the university, I can change this. You
will have to change that one.
Yeah,
yes.
But if I'm working in a, whatever
somewhere else,
I can do something different. So I weighted by category. I selected this. Good, very good. So I closed this because I did my grade. So I have my grades here. So I was talking with my group and I said, with this one, we can see the whole picture. And we can see the overall grade. I don't know, the students cannot see that overall grade, maybe.
You decide if you want them to see, as Professor Beatriz was explaining. So you will always see it, but your students might not, depending if you set it up as they were able to see it.
So, sorry, I will do this because I graded this for Karen.
But if you don't return, it won't be reflected on the overall grade.
So I will return.
Yeah, you need to return.
So now it's reflected. Before she had 100 and now she has 90 7.5%. So it's weighted by category. Karen is missing this. So I'm waiting because I didn't mark a date for delivery. But we have a question. It's Anthony's question. Can the student see the percentages according to the work he or she has done? For example,
they can see the percentages, like how much is every section, right?
Yeah, but can they see in terms of midterm test, I have this grade or no?
You mean if they can see as you're seeing it here, like it's a midterm exam and this is my grade?
They can see here. Sorry, Anthony, you
if I can get your question.
Okay, I think that I have to say it differently. Okay. For example, let's suppose, for example, that the research category as part of the evaluation equals to 25%. Obviously, what I understood is that the platform itself will be able to get the final score based on the grades that the students get. My question is that, for example, if they say, how much did I get in terms of percentages in the category of research? Can the classroom tell me that, or it just gives me the final grade directly?
Yeah, it will give you the final directly.
Yes, yeah, but there is something else that you can do. Click on the name of the, right there, click on the name of the student.
Right. Then it will give you, as you can see, but the question is if it gives you the overall grade. It gives you the overall grade. It won't give you the percentage, I mean, the grade per category. I think that's your question, Anthony, right?
Yes, I mean,
if like, for example, in assignments, it got 25% out of 30.
For example, so that means that the platform did it, but it's not going to tell me because it's just going to give me the final score, right?
Right.
It's getting straight to the point.
Yeah. If you want to do that, and that's what I do, I download the grades, all the grades, and then I work them on an Excel. And in fact, it's advisable for everybody to download the grades because when, for example, Anthony decide to leave the classroom, it's like he's packing everything with him and he's taking the grades and you won't be able to see what the student did in the classroom. So you should always download the grades. That happens with the free version, right? Of course, if you are using the paid version, that's not going to happen. But in this one, you should always download the grades, even though you get the final grade and you can use it for, you mean at the end, I mean for the, by the end of the semester, when you need to post that grade in the university's platform, then it's perfect, but you still need to download them.
Can you tell me how to download?
Okay, you have to get into any of the assignments. Get into any of the assignments. Okay, now click on the not. And it says download all grades or download these grades.
Okay, great.
And then you can get it into Excel and work it as usual. I do all the time and I keep records of all my groups just in case. I realized that the first year a student asked me, keep in mind that the students use their Gmail account. And if they forget their access to the Gmail account and they left the classroom, then you will have to go to the class drive, the folder I was talking to you about yesterday. Then try to find information about that. And that's longer than just to keep your own record of students' work.
What I was doing was a screenshot, but that's better.
Or keep it a screenshot, right? That might also work.
So I think that was the question we had, that the big question was the percentages, and we're fine.
Okay, great. That's the question.
You mentioned, I think that you mentioned something related to pay for the full version of it. Were you referring to Google? I think I'm not sure. I think it's called like Google Workplace or something like that. That if you pay for it, you will get new things, like the things that were locked. They are
I
now
mean,
available to you.
every platform has different resources that are available based on how the institution acquire it. For example, if you use Teams from the university, you might be able to do things that you might not be able to do in Teams, the one that the Ministry of Education got. And in this case, we're using the free version of Google Classroom. The University of Panama, as I was explaining days before, have a version. The university has a paid version of Google Classroom. You just need to request your UP Digital email. And it's slightly the same email you have from Outlook. Okay, and there you will find more features, more resources.
That will be for platforms, to use platforms like I think it's called Microsoft Teams and all those applications
both.
too.
No, Outlook is used for Microsoft Teams, and UP Digital is for Google Classroom. But
do I need like another, aside from the one that I already have from the institution, another email specifically to use Google Classroom?
Yeah.
Where do I get that?
The University of Panama, you request, I'll try to look for the information. I did that like 2 years ago, and I really don't remember that, but I will check and try to get that information for you. But there is a platform called UP Digital. And
I would like to know that too, because it will come in handy in the future too.
Yeah, but it has its pros and its cons, as I was explaining. When you use that one, you are not able to share the classroom with your students. You have to request the IT department of the university to add the students to your classroom. That's the way it works.
I understand.
So it's better, but then you have to wait. And remember, during this semester, at the beginning of this semester, you have 20 students. The next week, you have 25. And sometimes they're not the same students. So you will be requesting changes. And then I decided, okay, I'll keep the free version.
All right. So, but if I want to rely on plan B, which is actually purchasing Google Workplace, I think that you have to make like a monthly payment, right? But it's not that much.
Yeah, I guess.
I think that I made research about that. It isn't that much, but it should help you too. That counts as a plan B.
Okay. Check that and see what works better for you. Okay, thanks very much. Do we have another group with questions, presenting anything? Let me see. Okay, we were able to listen to group number 1, and we also had group number 8, I think. Any other group? Ready? We have group number 6. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, let me go back to the original ones. Okay, let's see the name of this. So these are the categories I designed my class. Okay. Writing 15%, video 20%, quizzes 15, audio voice 20, and exam. I know that over here, according to the university, it's 35, right? So I have to fix this with 35. Okay, and the attendance, I put it on another place. So these are what and I also that I find out today, I didn't know that because we have been working with, we have been uploading different assignments, different tasks, but I didn't know that you may, pose a different assignment, the videos, the writing things, and then after that, I thought that this section was supposed to, I mean, the correct form, the correct way is to organize it at the beginning, from the beginning, right? But you can do it, you can redo it again after you organize it in the class. I didn't, so over here, let me see, let's see this one, the writing activity.
Yeah, you can go back and edit it and there is no
Yes,
problem.
yes, that I didn't know that I have to go back and edit it, and that's what I did over here. I went over here and I edited over here, and then I reassigned it to a writing over here. It appears all the different categories, so this one is the writing, so I place it in as a writing activity, and then you have to save it. I have to save it. Okay, so
Right, and even in the settings, you can go back anytime and say, hey, I
yes.
forgot the university said that it has to be 35%. I cannot have it like this, and you can fix it
Yeah, yeah, over here I can fix
all
it.
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. So that's our assignment.
Very good, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, we have groups number 2, groups number 3, number 4.
All right, group number two.
Okay.
All right. So we also created our categories here. So we might probably need to adjust according to the real percentages, like for the final exam and things, but we worked on homework 10%, quiz 20%, classwork 10%, midterms 30, and final 30. So that's how we did, and we got 100 for all the assignments. And then we also went to the different activities. And as we went to the different activities, we also, well, here, oops. We also went to the actual activities, like to edit them. Let me just get rid of this. So, and we edit them so that they all have the category right here. So that it shows there what they need to have so that it works. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you, Aleohin.
All right. Stop sharing.
I like that you organize your content within Google Classroom. We can find here, there are the assignments and the students, they can find them easily as well.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Do we have anybody, any other group?
Yes, group number 3.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, this is what we have so far. And here are all the qualifications. And let me see. For example, this one is the midterm. We had it right here.
You didn't create a Google Doc for that midterm, did you? Or it was, oh, it's a speech. Okay, got it.
Yeah, but also we have to make some changes as we decide what is going to be evaluated for the students. So that's why we have, you know, like this one says midterm, but before it wasn't like that. It was just a regular classwork, but we switch it, you know, just to have it correctly with the evaluations. Yes. Sorry for that. Yes, we had it right here.
Okay, we're just practicing.
Yes. And let me see. Right here is where we make all the changes. Let me see if my laptop wants to help.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Yes.
You want to edit it? If you want to edit it, you have to click on see the assignment, right? And then get into instructions.
Okay, right here, yes.
There in the 3 dots. Then you can edit.
Yes, thank you. Okay, here where we make all the changes, like right here, midterm, and we place also the points. We have the instruction here, and also something very important that we already placed the criteria for the evaluation right here, because so far we don't know how to do the rubric. So we're waiting for that.
We're going to get there. In the next.
So this is what we have so far, Professor.
Okay, very good. I think we have time for one group more. Okay, I don't know, group number 5, group number 4. We already had group number 1. Group number 7. Okay. It seems we have some groups that are pretty shy. Okay, Joel, then what we can do is take the break now so we have some more time for the next session since we're going to have a bit more of information to share with them.
All right, excellent. So let's take a break and let's come back at 10:15, okay? 10:15, is that okay?
Perfect.
Wonderful. Have a good coffee.
Thanks.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello.
So, Professor Corina, are we ready to continue?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, before we get started with the next topic, I promised Rafael that I will show him how to delete the assignments. Okay. So let me see if I can get there. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Remember yesterday when I said you have the class drive folder? That's exactly where you go. You go to your class drive folder in that specific class, then you look for the assignment you are concerned about. Let me see, I have it open. Okay, let me see, I had it open. Okay. Can you see the new window?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get and look for the student. See, I think was his main concern is that you can find in the student with two work submitted under the same assignment. This is a class from 2020, so. It seems she submitted one and it had some error, and then she submitted one again, and that was the one I graded. So what you do is you select that one, and you can either from here remove from right here, or you can go simply to the top. See the icon to remove? You click on it, and it is removed. You cannot do it in the Google Classroom. What you do is you do it in the drive. Is that what you were looking for?
Okay, the drive. So I have to go to the drive in order to really. Oh,
To the
okay.
class drive folder. But the class drive folder, you have to get into the Google Classroom and click on the class drive folder. Okay?
Got it.
Corina.
Yep.
I have a question. Is this what students might do to erase all their grades from the class that we have with them?
No, the thing is that students cannot delete anything from the class drive folder. That's up to you. They can unsubmit assignments and submit again. From the classroom, they can, right?
Okay, okay.
But the thing with the grades is that you decide yourself to join the group, like you join this seminar, the Google Classroom from this seminar. When the seminar is over, you can leave the Google Classroom.
With all your grades.
But when you leave, everything related to you, all the assignments and everything, the professor won't be able to see that.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's what I'm
Okay.
telling you. Whatever you do, download.
Okay. This is a practice that I noticed students have been doing, that they erase themselves from the group with the older grades. But sometimes, because of whatever the reason, they have complaints. And if the student have a complaint and they do that, then they won't have any
proof, any
evidence of what they really have been doing during the semester. So then that will be up to the student, and the results of that behavior will have a consequence at the end, right? Because in that case, if they erase themselves from the class with all their grades, the teacher can't do anything then.
Yeah, they remove themselves, but you will still have information in the class drive folder.
Okay, if the teacher saves the information.
Yeah, but then you have to look like assignment per assignment, activity per activity to try to discover any situation. So that's not good for us.
All right. Okay, thank you.
And I think they don't know that when they remove themselves from the classroom, they are taking away everything. However, you will have to ask them to join the classroom again. When they join the classroom again, everything shows up. Everything is displayed again.
Will pop up. Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Corina, excuse me. How do you submit your assignment on the file?
In the platform.
How you submit?
As a student, you mean, right?
Yeah.
You work on the assignment and there is a tab, I think it's a blue tab that it says submit. You just click in it. When you open the assignment and you work on the assignment or upload the file that you are submitting, then there is a tab right there and you can click on submit.
Okay, thank you. Also, I have a question about the assignment that we have it yesterday, that you sent it to us, the exercise, remember? You send it off? Yeah. I have a questions.
Can we have those questions by the end, because I need to get into
yeah, excuse me, so
that's okay. We can get into the Google Forms, and in fact, my apologies related to that, because we forgot to talk about the Google Forms, a task that you had for yesterday, and in fact, you're going to have another one today, and I forgot to remind you about that. Okay, so yes, let me do that by the end, Marta. Thank you. Okay, right now we're going to talk about assessment in a blended class. We need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand, because it is the pen and paper of our time. And it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. Just to remind you, even though you might not like technology, or it is not that easy for you to work with technology, you still need to find a way to use it with your students. Okay, that's how we're working nowadays. Okay. Okay, for today's session, we will go over the review of assessment, then see what kind of assessment are online, which others are like the traditional versus the online assessment, getting into using the Google Classroom for and assignments for assessment, and also Google Forms as the main topics for this session. Okay, as you know, assessment can take place in a variety of ways, but it depends on the instructor, on the professor, on the students, the types of students that you have, the subject you're teaching, the objectives you're pursuing, and even the level, the language proficiency level of your students, to decide how you're going to work with it, what style you're gonna use. So definitely using a blended learning environment can increase the scope of assessment. As you know, you can go from automatically assess activities from those that you might need to get, read, and make comments on them. But it provides also the opportunity for students to work with their classmates, as I was showing you on Tuesday, to collaborate, okay, to see or listen from their peers' point of view. Okay, so assessment. According to the Glossary of Education, assessment refers to the wide variety of methods or tools that educators use to evaluate, measure, and document the academic readiness, learning progress, skill acquisition, or educational needs of the students. I like this definition because it encompasses most of what assessment represents. It's not just a grade, okay? It implies much more than just giving a student a grade. Okay, concerning the purpose, every one of us has a purpose at the time you create a test, an activity, an assignment. You are either trying to gather information, if we're talking or thinking about formative assessment, trying to find out how much of that you were trying to get into the students actually got there. Actually, they were able to understand, to acquire, right? So that's one of the main purposes of assessment. It can also have the purpose to find out about the students' interests, to make judgments about their learning process. We are working in most of the cases with adults. They all have their own belief, and that's why you might sometimes help the students complaining about how we graded them or what kind of assessment we decided to use, because they at this point they already have their own belief. So we needed to show them always the objective of every single assessment, so they can trust us, they can follow us. Okay, assessment can also help us to reflect on each student's level of achievement and help to customize teaching plans. And I guess most of you, after you have had an activity in the platform or in the classroom and you didn't get what you wanted to get out of that activity, you get back and try to look either for something else, or you add something different, or even include extra practice for your students. And that situation usually affects the next year. It's going to influence your plans, your syllabus for the next year. If you had this activity that didn't work as expected, you start making changes, and that has to do precisely when you get to the point to assess the student. It's funny when you ask the students, is everything clear? Do you need any further explanation? And they say, oh, we're okay, everything is fine. And once you get to the test, they fail. So was it clear or not? Maybe they didn't even realize they didn't get what you were trying to explain. So let's see how that works, online and traditional assessment. We were talking from Monday that we need to decide what we will have online and what we will have in the classroom. And that has to do precisely as well with assessment. You need to decide what would be assessed online and what would be assessed in the traditional way. But first, we need to get into traditional assessment. What is traditional assessment? What do we consider traditional assessment? Does anybody have an idea or a perspective on traditional assessment? What you yourself consider traditional assessment?
Will that be, Corina, pen and paper? That's to me traditional assessment.
Okay, very good. Yeah, mainly using a pen and a paper, that's traditional assessment. Agree, mainly when we talk about pen and paper, we're talking about traditional assessment. As you well said, traditional assessments are tests taken with pen and pencil and usually includes true and false, matching, or multiple choices. But multiple choices. Right, multiple choice, which is the most popular one, right? And but it also refers that to something else. The way we check our students' ability, we're just like collecting information and asking them maybe to reproduce specific content. That might also be considered traditional assessment. Now, you won't believe it, or maybe you know, that even this type of assessment, the multiple choice, which is the most common in traditional assessment, is also one of the most popular approaches to blended learning. And the reason, we all know that as well. It is easy to grade and it is fast.
Yeah.
If you are using it, even if you're using Teams, you can use the Microsoft Forms. If you are using Google Classroom, you use the Google Forms. And if you are using UP Virtual, you also have the option of in Moodle to create your tests there, even if they are formative or summative assessment. Okay, according to some research, if you have a mixture of tests, some online and some offline, you might get more fruitful outcomes. So it is good to give it a try to find out what kind of things you can have online and what kind of things you can have online, right? When we talk about multiple choice, we have some issues with that we will see in a minute, but there are other things that we can do, like having videos, audio recordings, right, to use with the students. When we talk about multiple choice, you can find ways in which students can, it's not easy, it would not be easy for them to be academically dishonest. For sure, this kind of multiple choice tests help us when we're talking about very large classrooms. I remembered professors complaining about the number of students in just one class. I heard about classes where there had 100 students, because some people believe that if the class is online, you can have as many as possible and it will be the same thing. I think most of us discover that it's not like that. If you have 100 of students, that means there will be 100 of students asking questions. There will be 100 of students taking tests. And you will have you might have 100 of students even complaining about grades or any other thing, right? So it doesn't work like that. And in fact, it's recommended to have a maximum of 25 students concerning online classes. But we had the challenge and we needed to find a way. So a way to work with on multiple choice items is to give it a higher level thinking. So instead of having just a multiple choice items where the answer could be either one or the other, and it's based on the content material study that they can even look for the information online, you can come up with items where they are required to analyze, they are required to apply, they are required to evaluate in order to come up with the answer. You can use a graph, you can use a chart, and then have the students interpret it in order to find the correct answer. They will have the options. You can even have more than one possible option, and they need to find the best one. That's different. Or you can even have a multiple choice test that students will have to work in groups and they have to discuss in order to come up with the correct answer. What I'm trying to say is that even for multiple choice tests, there are ways to work with them that can make the academic dishonesty not that easy, that they can find the answers that easy, or they can just have, as I have realized, just one student answering the test and providing the answer to the others. Okay, things that we all had to live with and put up with. Okay, but there are other types of online assessment that we can work with. Like, for example, a more authentic assessment, like projects, okay, where they have to apply, where they can use their skills and the aptitudes to real world problems, real world situations. And concerning language, it could be a project even in grammar, where they can work on paper applying the different grammar rules explained in class. Okay, but you can try to be a little bit more creative and get into, as I was saying earlier, having a video, an audio recording, or even a Google slide with audio clips or a PowerPoint presentation, or a digital storytelling using blogs, wikis, podcasts. And in any of this, you're applying more than one language skill. Okay, when we talk about a video, you might be, students might need to write the script, so they're applying writing. They can then talk in the script, then you're evaluating speaking and so on. So most of the authentic assessment includes this kind of activity, where the students do not simply repeat what they were studying in class. Not just that, not just the content, but the application of that. That's what I'm trying to get into. There are more ideas concerning this kind of assessment. For example, one sentence summary. After a class, a linguistic class or a literature class, you can have your students write just one sentence to summarize what they said, what has been said in the classroom, what has been explained during the class, right? Just one sentence, and that could be done in the platform. You can have students generated questions. We can ask the students to come up with questions that could be used in the test, and each student has to come up with 3 or 5 test questions. Okay, and you can pick from those questions to create the test. That's a possibility, and they get involved in the test as well. We are concerned in some classrooms where students, not all the students have a device, or they have a device, but they don't have internet access. So you can have a group work within the classroom, and students work on the assignment in the classroom, and they can submit the assignment online using one of the students' devices. Okay. Some ways to have effective online tests is the use of randomization. And most of the platforms have that option where you can shuffle questions order and make it a bit more difficult for them. But you can even do in Google Classroom, not sure you can do it in Google, in Microsoft Forms, where according to the answer provided by the student, it can take them to a different group of questions. Okay, so based on one answer, these are like, you have the first question, pick your favorite color, and they say blue. If you click on blue, then they would receive a type of questions, a number of questions. But if they click on green, then the questions will be different. That's possible as well. Of course, that will demand a bit more of your time. Okay, given them time limits, you can give them a few minutes to do it, or multiple hours, depending on the purpose of the assignment. Concerning effective online tests, we can also set the rules, as we were saying from the beginning of the seminars. Rules should be cleared about everything that you do in the classroom. What is allowed, what is not allowed, concerning tests, concerning assignments, and so on. And concerning blended learning. Okay. So let's move a bit faster to get into what we can do in Google Classroom. Okay. As we have been saying, you can create the assignment, make sure to use the Google Doc or Google Slides, fill in all the information now that you have learned the categories. Remember to do that, the due date, the topic, so that the platform is organized for students, right? Okay, I just mentioned that. Wait a second. Okay, here is where I was going. You need to create rubrics in some types of assignments, mainly speaking assignments. Well, we also have rubrics for writing assignments as well. Okay, so here you just click on rubrics and then click on create rubrics. When you click on create rubrics, you will have all the format. You just need to fill in. Okay, I usually use Ruby Star. In Ruby Star, you find rubrics of different types, so I get ideas. There are others. I just got used to Ruby Star some years ago, and I continue using it, but there are others that you might be familiar with where you get the rubrics for speaking, for writing, and when there is a debate or anything. So you just get the criterion from those sources, pick the ones that fit what you're looking for. Yes.
What's the name of that site?
Ruby Star.
Rubric Star.
Ruby Star. Right.
Okay. Got it.
Maybe later on I can show it to you. I didn't include it here.
All
so
right.
You get them done. Okay, so you just need to fill in the information from Ruby Star, copy and paste it there with all the description. You decide the score. So you put the points here, and then you click on the plus sign and add in the different levels. So the first level, like 5 points, the second level, 4 points, the next level, 3 points. It's up to you, the different levels on the criterion that you want to include. At the end, they should all add 100 points. Okay, but you can also reuse rubric, right? When you click on reuse rubric, I'm not sure you were able to see that, but right here, where you create a rubric, under it, you have reuse rubric. Okay, that means if you have already created rubrics for oral tests, you click on it and you can look for your classes. You can pick the same class you're teaching. You click on the test that you're looking for to reuse the rubrics. You select that and you will have it right there. Everything you did there, then you will find it there here, and then you can even customize. So if there is any section that doesn't apply for what you're doing this time, then you can make changes as you prefer. As it says, you customize. Let me go back here just to show you that there is an arrow here. That means you can even look for rubrics created from in other subjects you're teaching. Not only the one you are using in that moment, not only the Google Classroom you are using for that specific subject, you can even look for other subjects you have taught and find rubrics you have created. So that's the good thing. Once you have some of them done, you don't need to do that again. Not print, not anything. Okay, so you can customize it. Oh, wait a second. Okay. It goes back. Let me go back to finish here. Okay, once it's running slow, I'm sorry about that. Let me stop sharing a minute and let me see if I can see what's going on. Yeah, it's running slow. Let me share it again. Okay, when you have created that rubrics, you will be able to see on the corner in the Google Classroom, and when you get into each student, you just click on the student and you will be able to select whatever criterion applies for your student's presentation. Pretty friendly, pretty easy to use. Okay, I want you to try that when you get into the breakout rooms. Okay, there is another option. Remember, I was talking about the student-generated questions, one sentence summary that you can use with the question. Remember, yesterday, I was referring to the question, ask a question. And instead of choosing the, instead of using the multiple choice, you can have the option to, I don't know why. Can you see the screen? Okay.
Now we can see it.
Yeah, it seems it's running slow. Internet issues. Okay, so here you create the question, right? As I was explaining yesterday, let's see if, okay. Then you, instead of choosing the multiple choice to work on the survey, then you can use this summary, one sentence summary, and give the students the chance to write a short answer. So just one sentence, and you will be able to see that. And if you can see on the right, you can give it a grade, okay? You can add it to a category, for example, class participation, okay, as I think one of the groups mentioned, okay? And you give it a score, you give it some points to that, okay? That way, students are participating all at the same time. Okay, now let's get into Google Forms. I guess most of you are already familiar with Google Forms. So when you open a Google form, this is the first thing you're gonna see. Okay, I have customized it already, you know, so it's not the plain version, but you can give it a name. You can add questions. It is always advisable to have name as the first question, just in case students, I mean, you have to give it just in case you're using the free version. In the other one, you don't need to do that. But in this one, remember, there is no link between the Google form and the Google Classroom. So whatever the students do in the Google Classroom, in the Google form, you won't be able to see it in the Google. Whatever they do, I'm sorry, let me say that again. Whatever they do in the Google form, you won't be able to see it in the Google Classroom. You have to open the Google form to see everything. Students complain and say, I submitted the Google form and I don't see that in the Google Classroom. It's simply because they have to get into the Google Classroom and then click on submit just to turn in. So in the platform, they submitted, right? But they're like two different things, right? There is no link, as I was saying. Then what you need to do is once they do the assignment or the test, you need to insert the grades in Google Classroom, return them for the students to see them. Okay, so there are different types of questions. As you can see, you can add in Google Classroom. You have short answers, you have paragraph, you have multiple choice. There's more than one option. Give it a try and see how that works. Now, take a look to the icon right here. Remember yesterday, I asked you to install this extension. It will show up in every single thing you do in Google. Okay, you will have it even in the emails, even in the Google Slides, everywhere you will find the mode. That means that you can send a voice note within that tool, okay? Any of even the emails, as I mentioned. So you can use it right here. Why would we need the mode inserted in Google Forms? Why do you think we will need that feature there? What we can do with that?
Isn't that the option that you can send voice in order to explain?
Note.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Very useful.
To give maybe to personalize your encounter with the student, your communication with the student.
Yeah,
person.
You can send the instructions instead of typing them. You can say it, but it works even better for something else. Since we're teaching a language, when we have an exam, we usually include different sections, right? You have the writing section, the reading section, but using mode, you can insert the listening within the Google form. So they don't have to go anywhere else. They don't have to go to the drive. They don't have to go to the classroom or use any other link. They will simply be able to find the link there, not the link, the icon there, and they just click on play and they will be able to listen from right there. That's why I will recommend you to do so. Okay, I was talking about shuffling. Right here in the three dots, you can shuffle the option order and you can go to section based on answer. Remember when I was explaining, if you decide color blue, then you will go to section 3. But if they answer red, then they will be sent to section 2. That's a way of randomization, the test, and making it more difficult to get the answers from other students. Okay, you can add not only voice the audios using the mode, but you can also add images. You can also add videos from YouTube in the Google form just by clicking here. Okay, important to remember, when you get into the settings, you need to make sure first that you have created this as a quiz and not as just a form, right? You have the option of deciding whether the students will see the missed questions, the correct answers, and the points and values. It's up to you. What is the purpose of your of your test or your assignment. If you wanted it to be formative, maybe you want them to see the correct answer so they can check what they did. Okay, these are all options that are available in Google Classroom. Even you have the default options. The default options allow you, whenever you create a question in Google Forms, you can, all the questions will be 2 points or 3 points or 1 point without having to do it every time you do it. Okay, there are other options like having the Google form, in Google form, every question to be required. That means students won't be able to submit any quiz without answering every single question. Okay, let me see. Sometimes it's important to collect email addresses just in case the students do not type their names clear, or you forgot to include the question name. That should always be the first question, of course. You can also shuffle the question order. When I was showing, what I was showing you earlier, it was the options. It was shuffling the option order. This here, you shuffle the question order. That means if you have 20 questions for one student, the question number 1 will be the 20, or the question number 5 will be the 10, and so on. So the system can do that automatically. It's very important to limit to 1 response. So you should always click here on limiting every student to submit only 1 response. If you don't do that, you might be receiving 4, 5 answers from the same students. The students tend to get nervous whenever they are doing tests online, for at least for the first time, or if it is a subject that it's really challenging for them. Okay, let's see what else we can see in Google Forms. We all have forms that we created during the pandemic, that we have them online. But now you don't want your test to be online because you know you're a student. So you prefer to have them in the classroom. So you can simply download those tests. You can print them. When you click on print, you can select the option of saving them, or you can simply print them and have them in the class. Okay, so your work from almost 3 years is not thrown to waste, right? You can still make use of them. Okay, you can get the pre-filled link, and you can add collaborators. It's great when you can work with your colleagues. You can add your colleagues that are teaching the same subject as you and work together in the same Google form just by clicking here, adding them with their email, and you all go together and work on the same Google form. Then you can make a copy, because if you keep the same one and you share the same one with your students, all the students will be answering the same form. So you might need to make a copy for you, for your groups, okay? And if you have more than 1 group, you need to make a copy for every single group. Otherwise, you will be receiving all the responses from all the groups in the same Google form. Comments, questions? Too much information? No, right? It's okay. Okay.
Yes, we have a question.
Okay.
My group, there was this question about the Google Forms. Is it possible that the grade earned in a test done in Google Form automatically
sent to Google Classroom?
In Google Classroom?
Not in the free version.
Oh, not in the free version.
Not in the free version.
So you have to do it
do it
manually.
manually. Yeah, you have to get and record the grades manually in the Google Classroom. That's
Okay.
the thing. And well, actually Microsoft Teams, if you're using Teams, that works better there because they're linked. But of course, you need to have the Microsoft Outlook or your email account to be using Teams and have that option as well. Okay, the other good thing that you can do is, since the students already might have the Google Forms you created in the previous years, so you want to create a new one, but more or less with the same topic, right? Slightly the same topic, so, or mostly the same topic. What you do is you import questions from other forms you have created. Okay, if you click there, you will be able to see all the tests you have created. You select the one that you're looking for. That's why whenever I create a form, I try to identify it with the course I'm teaching. So I am able to find easily what I'm looking for, whether it is the 210, the 292, or whatever subject I'm looking for. So be careful when you give it a name. Don't just write final exam. Identify if it is a final exam for this course or any other course. So it would be easier for you to create a new form just by importing questions from different ones. So when you open it, you can simply select the questions that you want to import. You don't need to import all of them. Okay, the answers can also be downloaded. Okay, remember to click on not accepting responses. But here, in this icon here, you click on the 3 dots and it's possible to download the students' responses. Just in case you have the students complaining and about anything. So you can get it from there. When you get there, you will have the option of downloading the responses, print the responses, or select any other destination for the response if you're using your Google Drive and you would like to save them there. Okay.
Corina, excuse me. Corina?
Yep.
When you have it for example, new forms, okay? A new forms of making a questions, and that link, you can also have it, for example, like the questions that you have it before, and then they change it and these new forms. Yes.
Yeah, you can copy a previous Google form and customize it, or you can create a new one, as you were saying, and import questions from other forms you have created earlier. Is that your question?
Yes, that's my question. Yeah, but could you please also explain it to us how to do it? How to do that?
How to import the questions? Right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's right here. You click here, import.
Okay.
Questions. When you click there, it will be displayed all the forms that you have created. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. I should have included another one. But when you click on any of those, then on the side, you are here, right? So on this side, you will be able to see all the questions that you had in the form that you created. And you just start selecting, like in this supermarket, just picking the things that you want. Oh, got it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, let's see, we can practice, okay? So the last thing we're going to ask you this morning is to create a Google form, right? Get into your groups and add your colleagues as collaborators, right? That's the first thing. Then add content, add questions, different types of questions, see how that works, shuffle, get into the settings, okay? But see it from the point of view, thinking about how you can use it in blended learning, right? What kind of questions you will be adding to that form, thinking on blended learning. And then we will go back to see how you did it and see your findings, if you were able to find anything else that was new for you. I'm sorry, see, I have the numbers 1, 2, and then 6. It's actually a presentation format, a presentation template taken from Slides Go. Slides Go has presentations for both PowerPoint, if you like PowerPoint, and for Google Slides in this case. Okay, it's called Slides Go. Okay, you just sign up and you have a bunch of beautiful presentation. The one I had yesterday was from there, and tomorrow I'm going to show you another one. They're pretty nice and they come with everything, and you just start filling in information there. Okay.
Slides Go.
Slides Go.
Okay.
Okay, good. So Joel, then we're ready for the breakout rooms.
Okay, perfect. How much time?
Okay, it's almost 11:10. I think we can have 25 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, if you haven't installed the Mode, try. It's fantastic, even within the Google Forms. As Tatiana said, for listening comprehension.
We are waiting seminar number 2.
Okay. What do you mean, Yariela?
Pull this tool. It's so helpful, Corina.
Yeah, you know, this kind of seminars, I would say, work a lot better if we go back to a lab, a computer lab, where we actually, everyone has a chance to practice and try.
Yes, exactly.